In this lesson, I will explain you why pawn storm attack is a risky strategy when it comes to same side castling situation. Let's look at this game. I was playing this game against a 2400 plus rated opponent on leeches. In this position, my opponent played pawn to g4. His intention is to start pushing these pawns and start the pawn storm attack on my king. But you see, this is a same side castling situation. Both of our king are on the same side, and in such situations, pawn storm attack is a risky strategy. Why? Because when you are pushing your pawns forward, your own king is also becoming weak. As white starts pushing these pawns forward, his king on g1 will also become weak. Right now, the center is not open. If I can manage to open the center, then I can exploit the weakness of the white king. But right now, I don't have a clear way to open the center. In this position, I first played knight cross d4. After bishop cross d4, I played bishop to c6. White played pawn to g5, continuing with his pawn storm attack. Knight d7, h4. You see, these squares have become weak. And if I can manage to open the center, then I can exploit this weakness. Here, first I played pawn to b5. After c cross b5, a cross b5. White played pawn to b4, fixing my pawn on b5, and now I played pawn to d5. Finally, I managed to open the center. After e cross d5, now my queen can come to g3, and this is the risk of using pawn storm attack in same side castling situation. Your own king becomes weak. I played queen g3 check. After king h1, first I took this pawn, queen cross h4 check. King g1, I gave another check, queen g3 check, and then I played bishop cross g5. And both of these pawns are gone. And now white's king is under attack. White played bishop e3, bishop cross e3, queen cross e3. Now I played bishop cross d5. After knight cross d5, e cross d5. White played bishop cross b5. White managed to gain a pawn. But the pawn is not so important. Here the white's king is very weak. And now I have to bring my pieces toward the opponent's king. So I started with knight to e5. White played bishop to e2, defending this f3 pawn one more time. And now I played knight to g4. White cannot play f cross g4 because then I will play queen cross e3, winning the queen. And I am also threatening the checkmate on the h2 square. White does not have any good defense. Here white played queen g1. After queen h3, queen h2, I played queen cross h2, and it's a checkmate. In this game, my opponent was much higher rated than me. And yet I managed to win the game because he was using a risky strategy and that backfired. So now you know that using pawn storm attack in same side castling situation is very risky, and for beginners you should not do it. Now I want to show you a situation where you can use the pawn storm attack even in same side castling situation. If the center is closed, then you can use this pawn storm attack even in the same side castling situation. Let me explain with an example. In this position, we are white. Here, the center is blocked. Black cannot really open the center. Here, white played pawn to g4. White started the pawn storm attack in same side castling situation. Here, the center is closed. Black cannot really open the center. So when the center is closed, your pawn storm attack can work. So when the center is closed, you can use pawn storm attack. Even if black plays c cross d5, we can play c cross d5, and black cannot open the center. And if black cannot open the center, then black cannot use his pieces to come toward our king and attack the king. After g4, black played knight to c5, and we played bishop to b1, saving our bishop. Black played a5. Black's idea is to stop b4, and black wants to maintain his knight on c5. Here white played king h1. White's idea is that white wants to use the g1 square for his rook and then continue with the pawn storm attack. After knight fd7, white started g5. Black played f6 and white played pawn to h4. You see, this time also white is pushing these pawns g5 and h4, but the center is closed, so opponent's pieces cannot come toward the white's king. And that's why pawn storm attack is going to work in this situation. Black played bishop f8, white played rook g1. Here black made a mistake. Black again played bishop e7. Black's idea is to put the knight on f8 and try to build a defense. But it does not matter, white is going to attack in the same way. White played queen to h5, bringing more pieces near the opponent's king. After knight to f8, white played rook g3. White's idea is very simple. White is going to double on the g file and then play g cross f6 to open the g file. Here, black does not have any useful move. If black plays a move like knight cd7, then white can simply continue with rook to g1. Let's say after rook c8, then you can play knight to e4, and you are putting a lot of pressure on the f6 square. So in this situation, black played a waiting move. Black is just moving his rook and just waiting. Here white played bishop cross c5. White eliminated the knight because white wants to play knight to e4 to put more pressure on the f6 square. After d cross c5, and white here played a fantastic move. Instead of directly playing knight to e4, white played pawn to d6. White sacrificed a pawn. White's idea is that white wants to open the d file for his rook. Here, black cannot play bishop cross d6 because then white can play g cross f6 and white is crashing through the black's defense. That's why here black played queen cross d6. Now white played knight to e4, gaining a tempo on the black's queen and putting more pressure on the f6 square. Black played queen d8. Black is trying to hold on to the f6 pawn. Now white played rook to d1, and black can no longer protect the f6 pawn. If black plays a move like queen to c7, then you can simply take on f6. After bishop cross f6, knight cross f6, white is completely winning. Black cannot take our knight because of this pin. And if black plays a move like knight to d7, then you can play g cross f6. After bishop cross f6, and white has a killer move. White can play rook cross d7, eliminating this knight which is protecting the f6 square. After queen cross d6, then white plays knight cross f6, forking everything, and white is completely winning. The reason why pawn storm attack worked in this situation is because the center is closed. If the center is closed, then you can use pawn storm attack even in the same side castling situation. And if the center is not closed, if opponent can open the center, then using the pawn storm attack is a very risky idea. And beginners should not use this idea in their game. The safe way to attack in same side castling situation is direct piece attack, which we learned in the previous lesson. That's it for this lesson. Let's go to the next lesson.